Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bonita, and here we talk about all the things that we love as it relates to lifestyle and luxury. So today I have a get ready with me from my hotel room. I went on a vacay, which by this time I'm sure you have seen the vlog. I went on a vacay, and just a mini vacay for my anniversary with my husband and I. And so today is our last day, and I wanted to do a get ready with me using 5 products that over-the-counter products that I usually use. So this will go up for our Fast 5 Friday, and again we're going to use 5 drugstore products that are kind of my go-tos. As I've gotten older, I've changed my makeup routine, so that's why this is probably my second or third get ready with me that I've done on my channel in the last few months, because it's often changing. So every time I do one, people in my age group, 40 and up, usually will DM me on Instagram and say, well, what do you use? I need something for this, I need something for that. So I by no means am a makeup guru. I just do what works. So that's why I like to film it, because if there's something that I do that will work for you, then you know it's all worth it. So I've done my lashes off camera, because that's one thing that I still struggle with. I have always struggled with like lashes, and I love the lashes. I wear a lot of mascara because I love a dramatic lash, but I cannot do falsies. I've done lash extensions one time, like years ago, before it was popular, and they ripped out my eyelashes, so I haven't done that again. I have on the EYELURE, and these are the EYELURE London pre-glued naturals. It says 15 seconds to apply. They're okay. That's why I tried them, because I have a hard time applying the lashes. I just can't get it right. It's popping up a little bit, but the glue is really sticky, so that's good. So don't roast me in the comments if you can tell that they're bad, but I have those on. So that's something from the drugstore that I'm going to use. The first thing that we're going to use from the drugstore is this. It's going to be the Black Girl sunscreen. I first heard about it from Happy Stylish Mommy. If you're not following her on Instagram and YouTube, you definitely should. Shauna, she is vastly awaiting the birth of her baby boy, so we're just proud of her, and we're thankful that she shared her journey with us. But anyway, she's the one that really, I think she usually uses Super Goop, which is really good, but you still get that white cast. This I find you do not. My hands are clean, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply that first and foremost. And you see it goes right into your skin. Check your nose and ears. I'm heavy-handed with any product. You probably don't need that much, so let's just go a little bit lighter. I am heavy-handed with any product that I use. I just am. I don't know why. I bet my mom said I was like that when I was a little girl, just overindulge in products. Okay, so one of the first things that I usually do when I'm getting ready to do my makeup is I look at my eyebrows and make sure there's anything here that I need to tweeze, and I don't see anything, and I will link a video down below, but my eyebrows are micro shaded, and I talked about my micro shading experience. I had microblading, which is hair strokes in the front, and then from here over is shading, which is what it sounds like, actual ink being colored or shaded on your skin in the shape of a brow. And for me, because I have oily skin, the shading lasts longer. It has been over almost a year. It'll be a year in July, so I go at the end of July, I believe, or August, to get them redone. All right, so after we do that, then we want to go ahead and apply our foundation or whatever we're using on our face for the day. For me, if I'm going to use drugstore, I'm going to use this. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Poreless. So we'll give it a good shake. Hope you like my setup. It's so beautiful here. Hope you can see my backdrop, but we are still in DC. We're leaving today. It's about 8:30 this morning, and I wanted to get ready before we go out, before we get breakfast, and we're gonna leave. All right, so I wanted to talk to you guys too, because I wanted to tell you guys where we stayed. We stayed at the Hampton Inn downtown, Washington, D.C., downtown convention center. And, you know, for a mid-level hotel, it's really nice. In the vlog, I did a hotel tour. But this is not where we were going to stay. I was in the works with Verbo. And Keiko is about to do a how to work with brands video, which is very timely because I had an issue. I knew that my husband and I were coming here, and I pitched to them wanting to do an exchange of you know, do a vlog post or an Instagram post, or, you know, vlogging our experience. And with that particular, it's not a hotel, it's an Airbnb, but Verbo, with that particular property, and then, you know, in exchange for us to stay there. In researching, the person never got back with us, and when they did, it was just, you know, kind of like a flippant response, and it was just, you know, long story short, it was more beneficial because they're getting free advertising. The agreement would have been more beneficial to their end and not mine. So I didn't end up going with them, and by the time I realized it wasn't going to work out, we had nowhere to stay. Our trip was fast approaching. And so you see how the coverage you get very light coverage. I had to, you know, jump into action and find somewhere for us to stay. So everything was sold out because of Juneteenth weekend, and excuse me, and because DC is opening back up, people are traveling, and it's the Father's Day weekend, and I was lucky enough to find Hampton Inn in a good, you know, they got 4 stars for their level, mid-level, and then in a really good area. We wanted to be, you know, in walking distance of everything. We didn't want to stay in Alexandria or Annapolis. We wanted to be right in the city. I wanted to stay at the Conrad, which is right downtown as well, further up, but they were booked. Okay. All right, so that's that. But I look a little washed out because the playback on the camera, with the lighting, I guess the lighting and the natural lighting is making me look a little washed out, but I promise you in real time I don't. It is a little bit lighter because I did get some sun. So it is a little bit lighter, but I can darken that up in 1 second, a little bit in 1 second. So I wanted to mention that because don't be afraid if you're doing this, either YouTube, Instagram, or a blog, like a written blog or whatever, or you're just a vlogger, don't be afraid to reach out to brands. That's what I've learned to do. And because even though I do this as a hobby, if I can kind of mesh the two, you know, turn it into a side hustle on certain things, you know, I will. Make sure you get under your nose too. You know, my makeup usually cakes up and beads up on her hair. Maybe because I sweat there a lot, it'll bead up. But yeah, you can turn into, if I can turn it into a side hustle, and I will. So it was a great opportunity. The person was receptive, but at the same time, I think they were new to the platform, to Verbo, and I think they were trying to get me. So I'm not as experienced enough to give you guys any suggestions of how to do, but the first thing that I would say, if you feel led to reach out to brands, go ahead and do that. But I know that Keiko is going to go in, and I'll of course link her down below, put her information on the screen here, but she's about to do a video coming up, so make sure you follow her and watch her about, you know, how to reach out and how to work with brands if you are a small YouTuber or Instagram influencer like I am. Next thing I'm gonna wear some eyeshadow today, which I usually don't, since it's, you know, our vacation. And again, this is not a tutorial because I'm a plain Jane. When it comes to makeup, I wear the same stuff over and over. I usually go in and put down a base. And so don't come for me. This is not a how-to video. If you're looking for that, just click out now. This is just a get ready with me talking. That's what this is. But we had a good weekend here. Thank you guys, everyone who's reached out and said happy anniversary, 22 years of marriage. And I wanted to talk briefly about marriage on this platform, because I usually talk about it on the podcast, but since hubby has been making appearances here lately on vlogs and such, so you guys know that I'm married. I've been married for 22 years. My husband and I, how did we meet? We actually met at church. We're both heavily in the church. We just grew up in the church, and we remained in the church even through our wild 20s. We were able to, you know, pull ourselves back toward God. He was in the military, and he had come home during that time. His stint in the military was over, and he was gonna go back. He was stationed in Germany, and he loved Germany so much. We were gonna go to Germany for our anniversary in 2020 last year, but of course we had to cancel because of COVID. But he loved Germany so much. He eventually wants to probably move there or live there X amount of months in the year after we completely retire, because we are like semi-retired. We're not completely retired yet, but anyway, he but so anyway, so he came home on leave. Well, not necessarily leave. I'm trying not to make these lashes, because you probably want to put your lashes on after you do your eyeshadow, probably. I don't know. I'm trying, because this is just glued. I'm trying not to make these lashes pop up. He came home from leave, and then, I keep saying leave. He wasn't leave. He was done. He had served his time, so he was done. But he was about to re-enlist. He came home to visit family, and his plan was to re-enlist. Because he was dating a German woman, and they had, I guess, broken up, kind of, because he knew he was coming home. But he had planned on coming back, so they had kind of broken up, but they were still in communications. I guess they had officially decided to not be in a relationship just in case he didn't come back, because they knew that long distance wasn't going to work. But the way he tells me is that he was still dealing with her. They were talking every day. They were writing letters. They were doing that kind of thing. And so he was making plans to go back to re-enlist. So to get back into the army, and then also to, I guess, to be with her. But during that time that he was home, he met me. And when he met me, he, I guess, decided that he wasn't going back. So that's pretty much what happened there. And, you know, we dated. We, you know, it was pretty much fast. We only dated for about, by the time we got married, we had known each other about 1.5 years. And that was pretty fast. We had known each other about 1.5 years. And my son, who is 20, we've been married 22 years. My son is 27 from a previous relationship. He was 3 when we met, And yeah, so probably 2 years, because he was three, almost 4 when we met. And by the time my son was 5, we were married. My son started calling him daddy right away, and I didn't want him to, but my husband was like, that's fine. And because his biological father was not active in his life, so of course my husband was just fine with that. And he probably need to blend that out a little bit more, because it's been a while since I wore eyeshadow. Let me fix this, guys, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So my son, he wanted a father, an active dad in his life, because his dad was not active. He saw him here and there, everywhere. He didn't see him often, so he really wanted going to school. He went to private Christian school, and at that time, and going to school and seeing everyone getting dropped off by their dad and things like that, he, wanted a father. So when I started dating my husband seriously, he automatically clung to him. But I told him at that time, we wasn't in love. We didn't know if it was going to work out. And I told my son and my husband that they both need to, because they, wanted each other. They gravitated to each other. He was like, can I call you dad? My husband was like, of course. Can I call you son? It was crazy. They automatically bonded. But I was afraid that it wasn't going to work out and everybody would be hurt. My son would be hurt, and then my husband, then boyfriend guy, would be hurt. Praise God, it worked out. Been together 22 years. So people ask us the secret to marriage. And my husband always says, just for me, he'll say something like, I've learned how to just agree and move on. Pretty much give me everything I want, which is not the case. He says no to me often. But I wish he was in here. He's downstairs eating breakfast. But when we talked about it, honestly, the secret to being a long, healthy life is communication. And because we're Christians, we believe that God has to be at the head of that relationship. That you have to have a good relationship with God. And in order to have a good relationship with someone else, you have to have a good relationship with God. Because God will direct you, and He'll lead you, and He'll guide you, and He'll tell you what you need to work on. And we just fully believe that if you have a relationship with Him, He's going to guide you to the right woman or man. And once He does that, being thankful to God that God sent you that person, you're going to work really, really hard to try to make it work. And one way for us is communication. I am a big communicator because I'm an extrovert. My husband is not. He's an introvert. He really doesn't talk all that much. I do all the talking in the relationship. What he tells me is that I'm not such a good listener. I'm a great communicator as far as verbally an outward communicator, but I'm not such a great inward communicator, actually, meaning that I love giving the information, but I'm not so good at receiving the information. And that was a hard blow, something hard for me to swallow, but as we've been married now for 22 years, I see that. I'm quick to tell him what he needs to work on, but when he has to tell me what I need to work on, I'm not having it. and guys, and it goes both ways. You got to be able to give and receive. He's easygoing. He really doesn't have a lot of quote unquote stuff. But when he is bringing something up and when he is ready to talk, I need to be able to listen and really hear his heart and really act on what he's telling me. And that's how it worked for us. And this is an adult channel, but sex, a lot of sex. You ladies have got to have a lot of sex. We have it. When we first meet our men, we put it on them. We have sex out the gate with these men. Then when we get married, we try to withhold it, which is wrong. So I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that too, especially early on. At first, when we first got married, we only had the one, my son, which is, my husband. We don't say step anything. So we had our son. So it was hard kind of getting adjusted. But once we got the groove of things, we were fine. And we had sex often. But then when I got pregnant with our daughters, which are back to back, they're only 18 months apart, I kind of stopped. I gained weight. taking care of 2 babies. It was a lot. And he was like, you know, that's not gonna work. So we've had some rough patches. Probably the first 5 years are really, really good. Probably about year 7, we really started having some issues. He wasn't communicating. I was doing a lot of nagging and fussing, and it just was bad. So we really had to seek counseling. We had to go to prayer. We had to get marital counseling, like therapy, marriage counseling, individually and together. And then we just started rebuilding. And by the time our 10th anniversary, we had a renewal, and because we felt like we were back on track. So from year 10 to now, we feel like we are back. We're back on track. This isn't drugstore. I would consider it drugstore, but I always use my Fenty stick for concealer, and then I need to use the bronzer to kind of bring the tones down. Concealer here, and I usually put my concealer lower so I can bring it up, because being a person of my age, we don't want the concealer to dry right here, and I've done that, and you've seen it on camera, and it looks bad. So we're gonna do that. But yeah, so sex is definitely important in a married relationship. So don't stop having sex, ladies. Like I said before, Miss Kitty don't need no breaks. She needs to be active, and she needs to be working. So we need to figure that out. I have a whole podcast about marital sex. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll link the episode down below. I'm almost out, and we're gonna do a little bit of a contour here around my nose. Kind of bronze it up a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about the shopping. So Tyson's Galleria, we went there. We went there when we first got in town. You'll see that in the vlog. And hubby, I got his Father's Day gift, and I'll do an unboxing. He got something from Louis Vuitton, and just some other little things that he wanted. So I'll do an unboxing. I got something I wasn't supposed to because I really didn't see anything. If they had a toiletry pouch, I would have gotten that, because some people are having luck finding toiletry pouches in store at the boutique, because they're discontinued, they're done. And people are saying that they're not discontinued, they're taking them off the website, but they are probably revamping them or using them for something. And Hermes, Chanel, let's go back. Chanel, I almost pulled the trigger on a maxi, almost. But my husband was very clear. He's like, you can't have both, because I haven't gone to Hermes. I'm going today at around 10 o'clock, right when they're open, and we're going to, as our last stop before we leave the city. So we're going in there, and I'm going to get something. I pray. And like I told my friend, I said either it's going to be the Oran sandals, maybe lipstick, jewelry, or a bag. So I'm gonna come out with something or nothing. That's just what it is. Get a little bit more right here, because like I said before, I'm not gonna spend just to be spending. Everybody knows how Hermes gets down. There's plenty of how to play the game videos, to play the game or not to play the game. There's plenty of those type of videos on YouTube. So I'll link those down below. I'm not getting involved in that. I want either a Birkin or a Kelly. I really think I'm a Kelly girl. I wouldn't be opposed to having a Birkin. I mean, if somebody wanted to buy me one, of course I'm gonna take it. But it has to be it has to be what I want and how I want it. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting anything today. But I do know that by the time I'm 50 and or my 25th wedding anniversary, I want a Hermes bag. Final thing that I put on after my makeup is done is going to be our powder, because I'm very oily, and I usually use just this, the L'Oreal True Match, or either I use this, the powder form of this. Either one I usually use. And we just go in, we dab it really good. And I'll link my brushes down below too. I hope you guys had a good Father's Day weekend with your hubby and boyfriends and dads and all that. DC is loud. It's not, when we go to New York, it's not like, I think you expect New York to be loud, so you kind of drown it out. But you don't expect DC to be this loud. So it's like everything sirens is like, what the heck? It's loud. It woke me up a few times last night. But in New York, I can sleep in New York because I guess, like I said, you expect it. And Chicago too. You kind of expect it, I guess. But DC is very loud. Alright, the last thing we're going to do, we need to put some mascara on these falsies. And this is what I use, the Maybelline SKYHIGH. You should have seen this all over YouTube and Instagram. It is very popular. But I've always used Maybelline and CoverGirl. Always. So it's funny how these makeup gurus and vloggers and these young people and TikTok try to make, you know, everything so new and fresh when it's stuff, that we've always used. It's volumizing, so it makes your own, extends your own, and give you volume. It gives you the falsy look, even if you don't have on false lashes. This keeps popping up in the corner, and I don't know what to do about it. Alright guys, well this is where we're going to end it. We're going to leave it here because I need to get my clothes on so we can hit the road. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this Fast 5 Friday of the 5 go-to drugstore makeup products that I usually use. Let me go ahead and put some lip gloss on. I did a video last week about my 5 most used and my favorite lip glosses. So we're gonna put the Charlotte on the bottom as a base. See how that goes on? She's so moisturizing. And then we'll do the Chanel. Alright guys, I will talk to you when I get back home. Have a good weekend and stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.